It was truly shocking when Jamie declared to the audience, "Family, that's the only thing left." Chapter 1. A Morning Without the Stage Lights. Jamie Dornan woke up before the city had fully awakened. There were no camera lights, no director shouting action, and no dozens of people waiting behind the camera. Only the gentle sound of rain outside the window and the steady breathing of the woman beside him. Amelia had her back to Jamie, her brown hair spread across the pillow. She wasn't sleeping soundly. He knew that, because for years, Amelia had always been the first to wake when the children cried, the last to fall asleep after the house had quieted down. Jamie lay still, not touching her. He didn't want to wake Amelia again. She was too tired. He gently sat up, put on his coat, and left the bedroom. The hallway was dark, but he knew every step in this house, the house he had chosen, not for its comfort, but because it held the laughter of his children. From the room at the end of the hallway, he heard sobbing. "Sophie," he whispered. The door creaked open. 3-year-old Sophie sat on the bed, clutching her worn teddy bear. Her teary eyes lit up when she saw Jamie. "Dad?" Sophie sobbed. Jamie lifted her up, feeling her small arms tighten around his neck. In that moment, everything outside, fame, pressure, expectations, vanished. He was just a father. And for Jamie Dornan, that was the most important role of his life. Chapter 2. The Man Behind the Name. To the public, Jamie Dornan was a name, an image, an icon. But to Amelia, he was the man who often forgot his keys, liked to make his tea too strong, and would sit for hours in the kitchen just listening to her recount her tiring day. They met quite by chance, before Jamie became the Jamie Dornan the world knew him to be. He was still a young man, filled with self-doubt, torn between dreams and reality. They fell in love not because of the spotlight, but because of their mutual understanding. When Jamie began to gain fame, Amelia was the first to worry, not out of jealousy, but because she knew how the spotlight could consume a person. And she was right. Chapter 3. 3 Children in a Miniature World. Their 3 daughters were 3 very different pieces of a puzzle. Lily, the eldest, 8 years old, was quiet and sensitive. She understood more than adults thought. Lily knew when her father was tired, when her mother was sad, and often quietly helped with small things. Emma, 5 years old, was the life of the house. She talked incessantly, asked endless questions, laughed loudly, and cried just as loudly. Sophie, the youngest, was the softest heart. She needed hugs, presents, and the knowledge that her parents were still there. Jamie looked at his children and realized he could play hundreds of roles, but none were as difficult or worthwhile as being the father of these 3 children. Chapter 4. When Marriage Starts to Get Tired. No one told Jamie and Amelia that love could be so exhausting. Long trips. Jamie's absences from their children's birthdays. Amelia's evenings eating alone with the 3 children in an empty chair. They didn't argue about infidelity or lies. They argued about exhaustion. "You're not here anymore, Jamie. I am trying for this family. I don't need more money, I need you." Repetitive conversations, with no winner. Jamie began to wonder. Was he building a career, or was he losing his family? Chapter 5. The Invisible Distance. There was a time when Jamie stood between 2 worlds. On one side were the filming schedule, contracts, interviews, and praise. On the other side was the messy kitchen, sleepless nights, and children unconsciously calling out Dad. He realized he was becoming more silent at home. Not because he didn't love her, but because he didn't know how to balance it all. Amelia was silent too. That silence was more terrifying than any argument. Chapter 6. An Unforeseen Event. The day Lily fainted at school, Jamie was in an important meeting. His phone rang. He saw Amelia's name and had a terrible feeling. The hospital, white lights, the smell of disinfectant. Luckily, Lily was okay, just exhausted and stressed. But the moment he saw her lying in the hospital bed, Jamie felt a primal fear gripping his chest. He almost didn't show up. That night, Amelia sat in the car, not crying. "I don't blame you," she said. "But I can't go on like this." Jamie understood. For the first time, he truly understood. Chapter 7. The Choice. A big offer came soon after. An international project, high income, increased prestige. But it also meant more time away from home. Jamie held the contract, his hands trembling slightly. He thought of Sophie crying when she didn't see her father. Thinking of Emma asking, "When is Dad coming home?" Thinking of Lily becoming quieter each day. And thinking of Amelia, the woman who had carried the burden for too long. Jamie refused. Not because he didn't love his job, but because he loved his family more. Chapter 8. Healing. Life didn't turn into a fairy tale after that decision. But Jamie began to make an presence felt. He took the children to school. He learned how to cook simple dinners. He sat and listened to Amelia without looking at his phone. They started marriage therapy, not to fix anyone, but to learn how to listen. Some evenings they just sat next to each other, without saying anything. And that was enough. Chapter 9. An Imperfect Family. Jamie understood one thing very clearly. Family is not a place without hurt. Family is where people choose to stay, even when they are hurt. He wasn't a perfect husband. Amelia wasn't an inexhaustible wife. The children weren't always well behaved. But they belonged to each other. Chapter 10. The Final Affirmation. One evening, after the children had gone to sleep, Amelia asked Jamie, "If you could go back, would you choose differently?" Jamie looked around the house. Toys scattered everywhere, scribbled drawings plastered on the refrigerator, the steady breathing of the 3 children behind the door. He took Amelia's hand. "No," he said, "despite everything that has happened, I still believe that family is the only thing that truly matters." Despite everything that has happened, Jamie Dornan still maintains that family is the only thing that truly matters. And for him, that wasn't just a statement. It was the way he chose to live the rest of his life.